There we go. All right. Welcome everyone on TikTok. Good to see you guys. Welcome everyone on Instagram. Okay, good to see you. If you guys could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right before we begin. That would be great. And it looks like we are now moving on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome everyone there as well. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. That would be helpful. Okay. All right. So we're going to give this a minute to let a few people tune in. All right. Thanks everybody on TikTok. Thank you on Instagram. If you guys are tuning in on another platform and you want a more solid situation, go to YouTube at Ask Ivy. I'm always looking to grow my YouTube channel, ultimately. All right. Hello, Yolanda, Jill, Bethany. We're getting moving here. Okay. On YouTube as well. Today, we're talking about free will versus destiny. So I'll be taking your questions, your comments, as well as your prayer and healing requests. You guys should go ahead and start posting now. Stacy, good to see you. Couple quick announcements while we let everybody tune in. If you want to become a YouTube or Patreon member, now is the time. Go to YouTube at Ask Ivy. The monthly horoscopes are about to go out for you guys for August. I don't even know where June and July went. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm kind of in shock. I just am going along for the ride. But your August horoscopes are about to go out. Also, if you're a member and you haven't turned in your monthly email question, okay, for your psychic mediumship reading, go ahead and get that in now. If you become a member, you get monthly Ask Ivy exclusive shows, you get weekly messages, you get a free mini class, and then all the other stuff that I just mentioned, so check it out. I will be at Gray Cliff, Frank Lloyd Wright's beach property, amazing architecture out there, and an amazing atmosphere. They have, it's called the Market at Gray Cliff every Thursday. That started a couple weeks ago, and I will be there every Thursday until September 14th. So come see me for a reading from 5 to 8 p.m. And you guys can book with me ahead of time. So if you want to pre-book a reading, you want to come out with your friends, you know, have a good time at a festival and see me for that, and you don't want to risk getting a walk-in, you can go ahead and pre-book on the website. So go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com, but I also take walk-ins. My radio show, my Ask Ivy radio show, 105.3 FM, WEBR is Tuesday. So if you want to post your early question now, you can go ahead and do so, or you can call into the radio show. I don't have the number on me, but it's up all over my website, up all over my social media. So check it out. My radio show runs 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. My Dear Ivy show is Wednesday. I'll be here on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. All right, giving free advice. Not psychic mediumship readings, but on any topic, sort of a play off of Dear Abby, for those of you who are old enough to remember what Dear Abby was. So you can ask me about anything, and I'll give you my feedback on it. So that's going to be Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I will also be at the Grape Festival. I don't have the, oh, thank you. Okay, Jill, my beautiful producer, popping these things up, and I didn't even see it because I'm in La La Land. America's Grape Country Craft Beverage Festival. Let's just call it the Grape Fest, okay? This is Saturday, August 15th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then Sunday, the 5th. And then Sunday, August 6th from 12 to 6. This is going to be at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds. There's a ton going on there. You can even camp. I'm like kind of amazed by this. So this is going to be a really cool, huge festival. And if you guys want to come get a reading with me, again, you could pre-book or you could show up for a walk-in. A Reiki class was yesterday. and we had a full house. It was pretty awesome. It was really great to be back in person for something like Reiki training. So I'll be announcing when the next class is coming up, probably in about a month to a month and a half. So stay tuned for that. The monthly ghost hunts sold out again. August 19th is the next opportunity for you to come in here for the ghost hunts here at the haunted 1882 Victorian Funeral Home. And we'll have the historical tours also on that day, August 19th. All right, let's move on. We got a lot to talk about here, so I want to get right into it. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I am your pastor. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is Roots Revival Interfaith, where we believe in the three universal truths. That is your intuitive intelligence, astrology, and numerology to help you to fulfill your life contract, to assist other people, and to grow your character and integrity. Always choosing a high vibration. Tap into those three truths. Today, we are talking about free will versus destiny. Now, I do try to take everybody's questions or comments at the end, and I will be getting to your prayer and healing requests. So go ahead and start posting those now. If everyone could, please give this video a thumbs up right now. Subscribe. Again, if you're on YouTube at Ask Ivy and you want to become a member, you can hit the join button, hit the bell as well for alerts when I go live, and donations are always appreciated for church. A lot does go into this. All right, so let's get into it. Free will versus destiny. This is a hot topic. This is a constant question that I get hounded with. Everyone wants to believe, it seems, in one or the other, that life is either entirely written for us when we come to Earth, and we are just here to watch it play out. It's kind of like a big cosmic joke. Or nothing is written, and it is entirely up to you to create whatever it is that you could possibly imagine or want in the universe. I have found that both are true. So it isn't one or the other. They're working simultaneously. And we like to say, that we live in a world, we live in a very independent, minded society where, people talk a big game. They like their freedom, they like their independence, their autonomy. They want to be always dictating, what direction, those are my rights, what direction my life goes in. It's hilarious to watch these people crumble under the pressure of actually having to utilize their free will when the opportunity arises. And so what I want to talk about here today are some key areas where we seem to struggle in choosing a higher vibration when using our free will, and some tools that you can use going forward. So, think of the last time in your life you wanted something. You maybe had to make a change, or, you were trying to make a big decision. And instead of just going for it, right, using your free will, using that liberty, you felt nervous and unsure and double-minded. And so you started asking for signs about what to do. And you asked the universe and your deceased loved ones and every friend under the sun, right? And you became double-minded with yourself, questioning yourself over and over and over again. But every time you did that, it didn't really work. You weren't getting a black or white answer from the universe. The universe didn't tell you left or right, right or wrong, what direction to go in at all. And you spiraled out of control and panic. A lot of us freeze. We're like deer in the headlights in that moment when we can use our free will that we said we wanted so much. We really prefer to be in a state where the universe has laid out for us exactly who we are and what we're supposed to do and the instructions with which to do it. And we're very bold in that moment in taking steps forward. Okay. And we know what the outcome is going to be. Those are really the only times I see humans being bold. So when you're asking the universe, and if you remember back to the last time you did this, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Why is this so darn confusing? Why am I not getting an answer? Why do I not feel at peace or feel as though I know what I'm supposed to do? Well, and I see that on Instagram, we just went out. So, Instagram always has problems. Switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy or TikTok at Ask Ivy. So, we need to understand that the universe isn't punishing us in those moments. And there's nothing that we did wrong. We are supposed to use our critical thinking skills. We're supposed to use our ability to evolve as spiritual creatures. We're supposed to tap in with our higher mind, which always knows the answer and is telling us the direction we should be going in for growth, for experience, for healing, to wrap up karma. There's always a reason we're supposed to go, best in one direction. We're supposed to learn how to do that. So the universe is backing off and not telling you what to do. It is not destiny what it is that you're going to do. It's up to you, entirely up to you. I sort of think of it like a blank canvas. An artist has all these paints and they can paint whatever they want, whatever colors they want to use. It's entirely up to you in that moment. And it's sort of like one of those, destiny books, those adventure books or video games or whatever, where you pick your path. That's all that it is. Okay. There's no right or wrong to this. You have an opportunity in that moment to design yourself and your life. And we need to make sure we're not freezing up at that time and doing nothing. Okay. Nothing is a choice. Nothing will bring you down. It will create karmic kickback and stagnancy and law of attraction going in the wrong direction. Okay. It'll kill your manifestation and getting any answers to your prayers and abundance. We've got to keep moving. I also see a lot of people latch on to others. A lot of people latch on to me with constant readings over and over and over, asking the same questions. And I'm like, oh my God, are you back? How many times are you going to book a reading with me asking about a move you need to make? You're back again? You haven't done anything with this in 3 months or 6 months or a year? Are you joking? Yep, that's how a lot of people handle being in a position to use their free will. You latch on to your ma, you latch on to your therapist, you latch on to a lover, okay? Whatever it is, we have to understand what real autonomy is, and that the ability to make our own decisions is the point of coming here to Earth as a human being, having a spiritual experience. You have to get in the game. Okay. So when do we know that something is destined? Well, it'll come to you ahead of time. That's the first thing. Okay. When you no longer feel like you're free falling, you have a clue. Okay. You've had visions, clairvoyant, insights, dreams, prophecy, deja vus, signs and symbols. The universe is very clearly showing you what you're going to be doing next or what is coming your way. That's how you know it's destined. Also, if you ask Spirit, if it's destiny charted, Spirit's going to be more than happy to just sort of spit it out for you and make it clear. Now, a lot of people ask, all right, well, why should I ever listen to horoscopes or pay any attention to astrology or get a tarot reading or get a psychic mediumship reading? Why should I do any of that if it's not destiny? Well, because there are things that are written. Certain events will most certainly occur. Those things are destiny. Those things will occur for the collective. And for each one of us, we all have as individuals a Vedic or Western astrology chart, a numerology chart, a life contract, And you can always get a reading for something like that and know what is destined throughout your life. You can count on these things happening. You can get a 100% guarantee that these things are going to happen. Those things are always there. The point is, they aren't just destiny. You still have your free will in those destiny charted moments to utilize, to maximize, to choose the higher vibration over the lower vibration. Let's use the example of winning the lottery. All right. If it is destined for you that you're going to have a lottery aspect or a breakthrough year, okay? It's written in the stars. It's in your numbers in your contract. When that comes, you can either collect that money and you can make your life better for it. You can help your community. You can grow your wealth by investing it wisely and utilizing it properly, or you can waste your life away. All right. You could snort it all and get hookers and I don't know, whatever, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Okay. You do what you want to do with it. But if it's going to take your life downhill and it's not helping you to grow in a healthy way in your relationships and with your life contract, the work that you came here to do, if it's not growing, okay, your prosperity, then you're going to be very tempted to curse fate and blame the universe. Okay. Always a victim. Well, that is choosing the lower vibration because you're the one who won the lottery. So, how you wasted that, the only real answer is that you used your free will very poorly. And I watch it happen every day with all different types of situations. So it's the same thing when something seemingly tragic or negative happens. Sometimes we have even chosen to have a disease or a terrible accident in our life contract. We designed it that way. Why on earth would we do something like that? Because we, in those moments, have an opportunity to use our free will to grow, to evolve, to become more powerful, to resolve karma, to assist other people, because you can't talk the talk until you've walked the walk. Okay. You can't be teaching and preaching until you've gone through the fire. So if this is something that's going to help us to get to our end goal, we will choose those things and make sure that they're destined before we come to earth in our contract, in our stars, in our astrology, in our numerology. All right. Now, when the moment hits, when it actually occurs, hard to say what you're going to choose to do. Hopefully you stick to the plan, which is to use that disease, to use that accident, okay, to use that seemingly unfortunate, misfortune for the greater good for you. So we have a choice in the good things that are destined, in the seemingly not so good things that are destined, okay, to use our free will wisely. I want to talk about a couple different areas where I see people having the biggest problems. And I do want to encourage you guys again, if you're tuning in late, drop your questions, your comments. I'm going to be getting to them at the end of today's sermons. Also drop your prayer and healing requests. I will be praying and sending out healings for those over the course of the next couple weeks. And if you haven't already done so, give this video a thumbs up, and donations are always appreciated. Okay, so, again, back to why should I watch any tarot readings on YouTube? Why, this sours me. Now I don't want to listen to my horoscopes anymore. Like, what's the point? What's the point of getting a reading? The point is so you know what is coming. You can see what is destiny charted and start preparing ahead of time to use your free will wisely. Okay, that's the point. That's why we always say, as astrologers and tarot readers and psychic mediums, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you suggestions about what would be best. Okay. All right. So people like to ask me, why did so-and-so pass away and leave me here and abandon me here? Why did so-and-so choose to die on me and ruin my life? That is not what happened. All right. So this is where all of a sudden we believe in free will. Okay. And, we want to blame our loved ones who've passed away for doing that to us. I want to explain that there are many options for death over the course of our entire lives. Typically around 7. I think that's a lot, considering we only live to be 90, I think 7's a lot. I've seen fewer than that, but I've seen more than that. What that means is that before a person comes to Earth, they choose these death points. And I'm always saying, death is highly negotiable. Eventually, yes, you're going to kick it. But if you can, approach a death point, one of these, let's say 7 options, right? And you decide, I'm not going to use this one. You can sidestep it if you're using your free will wisely, if you're being careful, you're being mindful, okay? Other people may even see it for you. We call them messengers of death, people who know ahead of time if someone's going to die or a tragic accident or disease or something is going to occur. Messengers of death are incredibly skilled at spotting the death points and encouraging people to negotiate around it. Okay. So we all chose death points, and it's very possible that your loved one went in the most humane, best option for everyone involved. Like maybe they were able in that case to go quickly. Okay. And they don't want you suffering for extended periods of time, whatever it is. That's up to them. That is their path, and their life and path does not just orbit around you. Okay. You're one player in the story of their life, just as you have many players in the story of your life. Okay. It's not everyone else in the world working around you. It doesn't work that way. You also chose your death points. And when you go one day, you don't want your kids and your new lover and your family saying, why would she do that to me? Okay. So we need to get over it. That's one that I hear constantly. And I always think it's a little strange. And I always break it down to this person does not understand the difference between free will and destiny charted. Okay. So yes, we choose our death points, but ultimately they're pretty negotiable up to a point. We should be paying attention to them. Let's talk about love situations, relationships, breakups, toxic relationships, heartbreak. Another common thing I hear, and people will try to twist my arm into agreeing with them on this one. They will say, I belong with this person. We want to be together. I can feel it, but it was the wrong time. There is no such thing as the wrong time. That is suggesting that the universe doesn't know what it's doing. Okay? There's no such thing as the wrong time. We have destiny charted points when we are going to cross paths with certain partners. And what goes wrong in that moment, if it goes wrong, is that one or both people did not use their free will up to that point in the way they should have. They repeatedly chose low vibration over high vibration. And so they didn't grow, they didn't learn, they don't have the right skills, they're not ready. It's not a timing issue, it's an immaturity issue. Because they were given the opportunities, they were given the tools, they were given the support by the universe. Okay, everyone's given what we need. It's up to us to pick it up. That's our free will. So there is no such thing as you and someone else having wrong timing and you just prayerfully sit by hoping it'll fix itself. Move on, I'm telling you. Move on. Somebody screwed up, and that's okay. Make sure it's not going to be you the next time a soulmate comes around. Make sure you're not so hung up on this thing that didn't work that now you're not ready. You're not using your free will for that higher vibration. Okay. Life is going to go on. You got to keep moving, keep moving. Another common one I hear is, I would have never chosen my horrible family that I was born into, or these terrible circumstances of maybe poverty, or hardship or abandonment or whatever. People will say, I would have never chosen to be born into this type of toxic situation. It has ruined my life. No, it hasn't, but it has certainly forced you to grow faster and beyond what the average person probably ever will. It has, in costing you in heartache and pain, also gained you benefits that most people will not access in their lifetime, for the possibility of empowerment. Okay. And even eventually going out and empowering others. When you go through a lot, it puts you in a unique position to lead eventually. And that's not very common. A lot of people want to make it seem like they're leaders. Okay. That's all just talk. It's just ego. And look at everyone getting after a podcast these days. I'm like, these are people who are trying to ease the pain of the free will. People don't want to think for themselves, so they latch onto these podcasts. Okay. People don't want to think for themselves, so they're offering these podcasts. People are talking themselves to death because they want to pretend that they have figured things out, or that they're some kind of a leader. It's just a lot of toxic cha-cha everywhere you look. There are people who have been born into the fire, no actual light worker and leader achieves that position by sitting on a couch, having everything handed to them, and going through nothing. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So I can respect and I totally understand why you would feel that it is impossible that you chose your difficult life situation. But I guarantee you did. Maybe not all of it. We would have to take a closer look at that. But a lot of it is destiny. Because you chose it, what you have to do to follow through on your choices is to use your free will. Okay, maximize every one of those opportunities in hardship to grow, to become empowered, to ultimately empower others. Use it, use it, use it. Okay? Nothing happens on accident. All right, so those are the three most common areas. Why did so-and-so leave me here? Oh, my lover and I, this is so tragic. It's always the wrong time for us. And then, I would have never chosen this horrible life. My life is miserable. Yeah, well, it's a matter of choice. Okay, once we've identified the problems. All right, let's get into any questions or comments that we have here. We have one from the Silly Rabbit 89. In regards to relationships, if there are destiny charted moments where two people come together and one or both don't use free will wisely, it causes another separation. Why does one party return again? Because people are addicted to the concept of destiny. Because people want to run away from accountability and responsibility. And we will do anything to get into that infantile safety, including latching on to another human being who we think is going to feed our narcissism, our fantasy, our debilitating nonsense. That's what we do. We may also drink or use drugs or excessively overeat or become addicted to porn or video game playing or a million other things. Someone like that definitely has other areas in their life where they are showing signs of escapist and avoidant personality. They don't want to probably deal with anything. It's like Peter Pan syndrome. Okay, so it's not just that relationship dynamic. It's a general malfunction, you know. So why will people go back? I think that's usually what I see. I would also say that sometimes we're trying to get closure, or we're kind of hoping the other person catches up. I found myself in some situations like that where I was with a lover and, you reach a point where you're like, the light bulb turns on. You're like, wow, they're not going to be capable of coming along with me. They're deteriorating. They're definitely stagnant. They're definitely not growing. This is where the road ends. And I could have stayed on that road forever and sat on the side with them while they went nowhere and ruined my life, but you have to at some point just identify the truth and say, I got to do me. I have to use my free will. I have to keep growing and I have to keep going. And they're not going to do it. So I think sometimes we're waiting for them. I think what people don't realize is how much of a problem it is. We would like to think, and again, I did this a couple times where I thought, well, maybe he can catch up. Like, what's it going to take? A couple months? No, it's probably going to take a minimum of 5 years before he's even in the ballpark of being ready. Okay, that's a long time to wait. All right. It takes the average person 5 years to start correcting some of their lifelong problems that are leading to that level of stagnancy. Let's get on to another question here. Good. From a Jill Marie. In regards to death points, is the decision to sidestep a death point subconscious, meaning at the soul level? I think sometimes I would have to agree with that, because most people, when I bring up death points, Western astrologers get very uncomfortable with me and they start to say, no, that's not true. I'm like, I know ancient and Vedic. Yes, it is. I've seen it. And when I bring it up with, friends or students or whatever, everybody seems to go, I know this is true, but it makes me uncomfortable. And I'm not sure what is going on with it, or if this is something I should worry about for the rest of my life, for myself and others, So I think that some things are too traumatic for us to consciously embrace, sort of like any kind of trauma that can happen in life where we black out, we block it out. Okay. And we have to go through hypnosis or therapy or, watch for our triggers to bring it back so we can re-experience it. I think that death carries that traumatic element, no doubt. And there are times when we decide this is not how I'm going to go. I am going to sidestep this death point, but we don't fully understand that that's what we did. We probably think that we went through some weird life change, that we had like a kundalini, that we got some downloads, that we had just a lot of really weird dreams for a period of a few months, maybe that we got more psychic, or mediumistic or empathic. And we don't really fully understand what the heck just happened, what we just avoided, I think until you go through a couple of them, you could be overlooking these. Yeah. That's why you want to have psychic friends like us around to point it out for you, so you can be even more paranoid. That's a really good question, Jill. Thank you for that. Okay. Are we at time? Did I get to everybody? I think so. Okay. So again, you guys feel free, if you're tuning into this later, okay, this will be published up on YouTube probably tomorrow. It takes a little bit. Feel free to post your questions. I will keep getting to the questions. Post your prayer and healing requests. I will be covering those for at least the next few weeks on here. I will see you guys Tuesday for my radio show on 105.3 FM, taking your questions. And I will be back here Wednesday for Dear Ivy, where I'm giving free advice. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Spirit. Have a great week.